watching Griffon Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Easley and Ryan Menley.
Back again, a big week here on the home front, Brett Easley.
It's homecoming week. Keeping it real is the homecoming theme this year at Western, which also marks a week of new seasons, new beginnings. Griffon basketball gets underway. We'll hear from both teams, but we begin with Griffon football.
The Griffons now sit at 5-2 overall. They'll try to make it 4 straight wins this Saturday in a homecoming date with Truman State. But before we look ahead, we look back to last weekend where Western hit the road and spoiled Emporia State's homecoming.
Western football spending a sunny Saturday in Emporia, Kansas, taking on Emporia State on homecoming. Pick it up midway through a scoreless first quarter, not scoreless for long. Griffin's knocking on the door. Travis Partridge screen pass to running back Michael Hill. Hill to the end zone. He had 185 total yards on the day, 7-0 Western. And the offense doing anything it wanted after that in the first half. A couple minutes later, Partridge to Reggie Jordan for the touchdown, 13-0 now. Griffon D providing absolutely nothing for the Hornet O. David Bass nearly picks off Tyler Eckenrode from his defensive end spot. Meanwhile, the offense continuing to methodically move at will. Partridge over the middle to Terrell Downing for the 13-yard score. Partridge 19 of 30, 238 yards and 3 TDs all in the first half. Griffs gave up a 2-run double in the second quarter, take a 19-2 lead to halftime. Second half, offense quiets down. Greg Zerline then heats up. A token 39-yard field goal makes it 22-2. Emporia had a huge comeback win against Missouri Southern last week. They make their push again in the fourth quarter this week. Eckenrode to former Griffon Ladarian Page. He goes 50 yards for the score. It's now a 22-9 ball game. Final minutes, Hornets knocking on the door again. Eckenrode to Ray Davis for the touchdown. Emporia within 6 with a minute left to play. That would set up an onside kick. It's loose on the ground, but the Griffons jump on it, recover it, and they hang on for a 22-16 victory. Western has won 3 in a row. They now sit at 5-2 overall.
You know what, a win's a win.
We had a great first half, and the whole week we emphasized third down, getting off the field, not prolonging drives. And second half, we knew they're a comeback type team. They did against Southern last week, so we knew we were going to be in for a fight.
People kind of looked down their noses at us when we were 2-2 and kind of counted us out. But in the locker room, that was never the mindset. The people in that locker room really care about each other and really care and play for each other. So anytime that happens, you're going to succeed.
And joining us right now is head coach Jerry Partridge. Really a tale of two halves, but survive and conquer, and that's what you did. Always hard to get a road win anywhere.
I think it was a tale of 3-point-something quarters and .75 quarters, or whatever. It's 6 quarters probably.
To be exact, yes.
Yeah, that was about 10-minute marks where it kind of unraveled on us. But I thought we played our best half of football the first half. I thought we continued to play pretty good for another quarter and change, and then don't like our composure and our poise in the fourth quarter. That we kind of came unraveled and dang near lost a football game, just not putting that final stake in the coffin and end it for them. And we left a team that had a little bit of comeback mojo working from the week before. It was still there for them, and they if Reggie Jordan didn't get on the onside kick, it might have been trouble.
From an offensive standpoint, especially in the first half, you've gotten a lot of questions about the passing game throughout this first portion of the season. And I thought it was as good as it's been all year long. Travis throws for 3 touchdown passes, long, short. You had a lot of success in the screen game. Just talk about that.
I think we're doing a great job with the screen game, really. We're executing that very well. There was a couple of years back we didn't think we were a very good screen team. We've done a nice job with that, and our coaches have done a great job of emphasizing it. Sometimes just the kid catching it too helps and how the guys block it. But I think the first half against Washburn and the first half against Emporia were our most complete offensive showing. The Washburn game we had the turnovers, and we didn't have the turnovers this one. That's probably what makes this one the best one. And we continued to move the ball and did some things in the second half. We just didn't cash it in like we needed to do, and what we did in the first half.
Michael Hill, 100 yards rushing, over 100 yards, and then almost 100 yards receiving, too. Really got him involved more than maybe we've seen him in the last couple of weeks, and that's maybe what we want to see, too.
Well, he is our leading receiver, too, but he's just a complete player. I mean, you've heard me say that for 3 years now. He runs the ball very, very physical. I'd like to see him make people miss a little more in the secondary, which he's trying. It's just not his nature. His nature is bowling you over, and he's so physical. And he had two, 3 really big blocks, just physical blocks, and he catches the ball well. He's really a complete back, and I think he's the best back in the league. I wouldn't trade him for anybody.
We also, especially through 3 quarters, we've struggled a little bit on third down conversions this year, and for 3 quarters, 3+ quarters, we had a lot of success on third down.
Well, I do think a little bit what happened the very first game, we were just flat out awful third down conversion. We've been chasing that mark forever, and that one's it's like the 0 for 20 to start a baseball season. You're gonna have to do it a while to get it out, but I think we've been okay. I think we've done. I think we've, quarterback scrambles have been a big third down conversion thing for us this year, but I think we're continuing to get better, and certainly that was the best team performance of it all year.
You've won 3 in a row. You sit at 5-2 on the year. That's exactly the same spot you sat in last year when you made the playoffs. How is that for your kids' confidence right now? Because those 2 losses have been just bad losses, but they've responded well.
Well, they're bad losses.
They're bad
so
losses
early
to good teams,
right,
but just the way they lost those
just
games.
2 awful halves. I mean, really, you look at the first half against Pitt, the second half against Washburn were the 2 worst halves of the year, and otherwise we've been a pretty good football team. So, really, I guess we're really more 4-2 than we are 5-2, Division II record-wise, and how the regional ranking committee will look at it, that's what we are. So, I guess we haven't matched last year yet, but this is the point we were 5-2 last year after losing at Central. We went to Joplin and really laid an egg. It didn't play very well, and that's what we've already talked about with the kids and how we want to respond Saturday against the Bulldogs.
Your 2 losses this year combined to 2 teams that are combined 14-0, so that's really not so bad. And we'll talk about Truman when we come back.
I've known Marv for over a year now, and when he came into me, I can remember the day he came into me with his wife.
I have spinal stenosis as well as scoliosis. I underwent surgery about 2.5 years ago to relieve the pressure on my spinal cord.
That first day, Marv couldn't stand up. I physically lifted him onto a table, and we started rehab from ground one, from the beginning.
And the various devices that Spine and Sport has here has helped me.
They've just been so supportive.
Not only do the people here have the attitude and the positive spirit, they have the knowledge. We've been striving to overcome the deficiencies and getting me walking again.
That just meant the world. That was a reassurance that we're doing the right thing.
Hi, I'm Western Safety Shane Simpson, and it's homecoming week. Come watch us take on Truman State this Saturday at 1:30 at Spratt Stadium. It's a great time to be a Griffon.
The last time Western met Truman State 1 year ago, quarterback Drew Newhart passed for a school record 412 yards as the Griffons put down the Bulldogs 29-7. Back now with GSI, Truman comes back to St. Joe this year with a 2-5 record. Jerry Partridge, Bulldogs struggling a bit right now.
Well, the record indicates that. I think it's the same MO as last week. I think this is a pretty good 2-5 football team. They barely lost to Southern by 7. They had 2 balls in receivers' hands at the end of the ball game on the 2 and in the end zone, just couldn't make the play. Pittsburgh State had to score in the last 20 seconds to beat them. They scored over 30 points against Central Missouri, so they do some things well. They certainly throw and catch the ball very, very well. They got a quarterback that scrambles, has a little gunslinger mentality, and makes a lot of plays, throws a lot of interceptions. And there's a couple of receivers that really catch the ball with their hands and go above their heads to make those catches. They got our attention. I mean, I think everybody has our attention. I don't think we're good enough to think anything else other than that.
And I'll go back to last week, and you mentioned struggling with composure. There was some yellow hankies that came out at some really inopportune times, and that's kind of happened at some times too. It happened a couple weeks ago against Lincoln as well. What are we talking about in practice last week to kind of get your heads a little cooler?
Well, right now we're thinking about not giving them the recess time. We're not going to let them go out for recess. We're going to work through it. Maybe take an extra nap. I don't know. We got to grow up a little bit and not do those things. And so at this point in it, we got to be smarter than that, and we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. It's like when the offside thing happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. We kind of started making more emphasis on it practice, and when we had asked Scott O to kind of get the guys to jump, and they did, and we do up downs for it, 5 yards. And this is a little different. It's hard to, you don't start fights in practice to see if you'll not retaliate, So hopefully they realize the importance of it. And just, part of it is just their aggressive nature, but retaliation has been the one every time. It's not like they're doing it, starting it, but they got to quit doing it. And if the other teams are looking at it, they're going to keep trying to cause it.
We know Truman comes to town this weekend. We've won 3 in a row. We're kind of getting to the point in the year now where we got 4 games left. You start to position yourself for the playoffs, whatever that be. Are you looking at that right now? The guys looking at that? What's our mindset right now?
I was going to Jim Mora you right there and give you the playoffs.
Should have. I would have enjoyed
playoffs.
I think probably the closer you get, the more to think about it. Certainly, one of the media outlets in our area here is continues to kind of funnel it towards something, and I think more it's about this week and how we want to go about it. And I think as long as we do that, we're going to be fine.
It's homecoming week as well. Talk about what that means.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, it's a great tradition of it has that great fall feel to it, and I like having the signs up, and it means, hey, homecoming is about a lot of things. It's about coming back. I mean, certainly the fraternities and sororities, it's a huge week. It's about everybody on campus, but obviously there's a football game at the end of it, and it has that feel like, hey, the football game's important. And so I think our kids appreciate it. Usually it's not a very big distraction. I think kids just get ready to play.
Which, by the way, our homecoming steering committee's done a great job of awareness. Just drive around campus, and you can tell it's homecoming week. Great job with that.
Okay, the most I've ever seen.
You bet. Very nice job. Okay, Coach P. Heasley's impromptu. We have good questions this week.
Okay.
Good questions.
Good questions.
I think I'm up to that. Hope I'm intelligent enough to handle it.
What color tuxedo did you wear to your high school prom, senior prom?
Did not go to prom.
Did not. Okay, so
Were you in trouble?
I was on some stupid personal strike.
Stupid personal strike.
There you go.
We'll get into that in a deeper story.
Yes,
on
we will.
GSI Closer Look.
On another note, the National Football League, there was a controversial handshake between Jim Harbaugh and Coach Schwartz from Detroit. Your thoughts on that?
I think you got to be careful when you're in a celebratory mood to not go overboard and try to keep your composure till you get away from it and you go crazy. And then I think you also got to be careful about taking it too personal when someone's just excited about winning. I've been involved with those type of things where I've been the one too excited.
Both sides.
Yeah, I've been on both sides.
I remember a game in 03 where you're jumping around, pointing at the stands.
I didn't do that with a losing coach though.
You didn't. You're right. You didn't.
I don't know if you follow this or not. You got your own things to follow. First, BCS rankings came out yesterday. Alabama, LSU, 1 and 2. I guess in reverse order. Do they have it right so far?
I think the Oklahoma Sooners are the best team.
And finally, and I'm curious to hear your answer on this. I don't want to put you on the spot, but follow-up question I asked you earlier. We win the last 4 games. Will we get the play?
Absolutely.
There you
Not
go.
even a question. Probably even host a playoff game.
Beautiful.
There you go.
There you go.
Way to put him on the spot.
That's why I
He was
asked.
ready to go. Jerry
Heard it here
Partridge,
first.
Truman State homecoming game Saturday at 1:30. We'll see you there, and we'll be right back.
I'm Fred Schunkweiler. I'm a physical therapist. I own Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. You know, we treat athletes, we specialize in that, but the industrial athlete is somebody that gets hurt at work.
I'm a police detective with the city of St. Joseph.
I'm a welder.
I had shoulder surgery.
And ended up having to have back surgery.
Professional athletes, they make a livelihood on the field. Well, an industrial athlete, they make their ends meet at work every day. And if you get injured at work, you want to get back to work as fast as you can so you don't miss a paycheck. And we specialize in that, and we have the resources and the facilities to help you get back to work faster. That's what the pool does.
In the pool, I attribute the pool to a lot of the recovery and the speedy recovery to get me back to work quicker. You know, I need to be back at work.
Therapy was wonderful, about 8 weeks straight of it, and I'm great. I'm back to work, 100%, no pain at all. It is different. They take a different approach to it, but they help, and they work because they care, and they work really hard to get you back. They did a great job.
Spine and Sport Physical Therapy, your first choice, the right choice.
Success is not measured by the size of your house. It comes from deep within inside you. It starts and ends with focus. Lock in, win the next inch, win the next yard, win the next play. Do it. Good. Now do it again and again. Keep fighting, and no matter what, keep moving forward. At some point, we will fall, but we will get right back up and keep coming. If we can keep that focus, if we can keep that drive, then we will never fail. That's character, that's a team,
That is family. This is Griffon football. Missouri Western wins.
I got committed with it since I've been up in the zone. Sign it dotted line, now it's on. You know me. Today, can't you worry about the past, 'cause that was yesterday. I'ma put it on the line, 'cause it's my time. My time. Gotta stay on my grind, 'cause it's my time. My time, my time, my time. It's my time.
November draws near, but college basketball season is already here.
A practice, at least. Both the men and women hit the hardwood this past weekend for the first official practices of the 2011-2012 season. Longtime men's coach Tom Smith in search of his 600th career win. He's sitting at 599. His team, meanwhile, getting ready for MIAA play. The Griffons returned 3 key players from last year's 12 and 16 team. The rest are new to the program. Now, gone is superstar Pion Stinnett. In fact, don't expect to see a big superstar playmaker on this year's roster. Just a solid team of guys. It'll have to be a team effort.
There is no question if this team does not play together, it's not going to be a successful year. I think they will from everything I've seen. I think everybody is going to fit in and try to make everybody better. I think our willingness to pass the ball early season has been great. If that continues, I think that's a real strength. Any team that's willing to share the ball and play together, I think can always be dangerous.
Meanwhile, the Griffon women coming off their first winning season since 2007. Expectations very high internally this season. The Griffons returned their leading scorer in Jessica Cook and their leading scorer from 2007 in Ashley Curry. She's back after a 5-year hiatus. Throw in a wealth of returning experience, and Coach Lynn Plett says this is the deepest team he's had in his 5 seasons at the helm of the Griffs.
We have more speed this year overall and quickness, I think, on the team than what we've had since I've been here before, which enables us to hopefully even pick up the pace and be able to run even more of a transition style of play. And depth. I think we have more depth now than we've had in the past. Quality depth that allows us to go, 9, 10 deep.
You can get your first look at both teams at the 8th Annual Griffon Basketball Tip-Off Party. That is next Tuesday, October 25th at 7:30 p.m. inside the Fieldhouse.
It's been a tough week for a pair of Western teams. Griffon volleyball is in the midst of a 4-match losing streak after a solid start to the year. Coach Corey Frederick trying to shake his squad out of a mid-season slump. Meanwhile, Griffon soccer is going through the same thing. They've lost 5 in a row and will try to snap that skid this Saturday at 4 days. Griffons have still won more games than all of last year. First-year coach Chad Edwards trying to keep things in perspective.
But yeah, mentally right now they're down, and we just got to find a way to, within ourselves, to be positive and, understand that we're doing good things this season.
Just a few weeks ago, former Griffon greats took their place in the Missouri Western Hall of Fame. Now, another hall calls for another former Griffon great.
Former baseball coach Doug Minnis has been named to the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame first ever satellite class. He's one of 7 inductees from the Midland Empire region. The surprise announcement was made during a press conference at the Holiday Inn last week. Minnis, of course, spent 30 years guiding the Griffon baseball team. He says the honor is a surprise, to say the least.
I don't know what to say other than this is a great thrill, and I've enjoyed it. And the victories, all I did was stand out there and try to direct traffic and let them play the ball.
The Missouri Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony takes place November 30th at the Holiday Inn in St. Joe. Quite possibly the next batch of baseball greats invaded the Spring Sports Complex this past weekend.
That's right. The Griffon baseball team played host to more than 70 youngsters for a neat cause.
1, 2, 3, Griff!
Yep, he's got sunglasses on his head.
Well, this is our community fall baseball clinic offered by Missouri Western baseball team. This is our 13th year doing it, and it's been a great turnout for us.
Nice shot.
Our players are actually the instructors, and they come out and have a good time and do a great job with the kids. And this year we're nearly 75 kids, and that's about how many we have each year. And it's a fun time for the community, for the kids to come out, and a fun time for us as a ball team to be able to get to know some of the people here.
5, 6,
I can't do you guys are too heavy.
You worry about preseason injuries the way you're getting attacked out there?
Kind of, sort of. There's a lot of interaction. I mean, it's a great time between between players and young kids, and Pony Express Baseball has been real great at allowing us to be able to advertise to the kids to get them here, and we offer it free to the kids, and so the kids are able to come to the clinic free of charge, and through the generous donation of nearly 75 sponsors throughout the community and or associated with Griffon Baseball.
You know, Coach Verduzco's done that 13 years and counting. They do a great job with
They
that.
do. A lot of great fun indeed. And we'll be right back.
He once helped a man with back pain by teaching him how to blow up a balloon with his hamstring. He gets superhuman strength just by putting on his shoes. He once helped a zebra's hip by realigning his stripes. He is the most helpful physical therapist in the world.
I don't always go to physical therapy, but when I do, I prefer Spine and Sport.
Spine and Sport. Stay healthy, my friends.
Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Your choice, the right choice.
Well, Griffon running back Michael Hill had another big game last week.
Yeah, he did. That's because he trained like the pros last week. Coincidence?
I think
not. Here's Western Sports Performance Consultant Fred Schunkweiler.
All right, we're here with Griffon athlete Mike Hill. We're talking about explosive speed out of a catch this time. Mike catches a screen pass. He's got to be able to catch, turn, and explode. So we're going to do a drill with the quarterback, working on that explosive speed. So here we go. We got Travis going to throw him a pass. We're going to freeze at that first step here. So you're going to catch the ball. And as he does, he catches it, and then he does what we call a hip turn. But when he did a hip turn, this foot went the other direction so that he can explode that way. Let's go ahead and come back out of that, Mike. The alternative to that is to catch and to pivot, which is slower. We want to catch and do a hip turn, much faster for reactive speed. So let's see it at full speed now. Travis is going to throw the ball. He takes it, turns, takes off. Next time he's going to turn the other way. Takes it, turns, catches off, explosive speed with the resistive band. One more time. Awesome job, Mike. That is turn, catch, and explode. Training like the pros at Spine and Sport.
She takes headaches away with her bare hands. Men run thousands of miles for her without ever leaving the room. She once helped a woman avoid carpal tunnel surgery by serving up drinks with a twist. She is the most helpful physical therapist in the world.
I don't always go to physical therapy, but when I do, I prefer Spine and Sport.
He once helped an unbalanced bull by teaching him ballet. He cured a man's foot with plantar fasciitis by playing Go Fish.
You have an 8. Go Fish.
He helped balance a man by playing darts with his eyes. He is the most helpful physical therapist in the world.
I don't always go to physical therapy, but when I do, I prefer Spine and Sport.
Stay healthy, my friends.
Hi, I'm Western Safety Shane Simpson, and it's homecoming week. Come watch us take on Truman State this Saturday at 1:30 at Spratt Stadium. It's a great time to be a Griffon.
Hi there, Sarah Hatton here with GSI, and I'm here with, could you introduce yourself?
I'm Dylan. I'm a sophomore here at the school.
Okay, I couldn't help but notice you were dancing earlier. Do you dance at all the games?
I try my best.
Okay, do you bring top-notch enthusiasm to every game?
I do.
How do you feel about the students in this section sitting down and not cheering?
I feel wrong about that. They should all be standing up and joining in.
I completely agree. Do you think you could show them some moves and hopefully they'll get into it?
I can try.
Okay, can you do some for us right now?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Get up! Woo! Get up! Yeah! Get up! Woo! Get up!
Here you have it, bringing enthusiasm to the Griffins. Thanks a lot, Dylan.
Thank you.
And thanks to Sarah for filing that in-depth report with Dylan.
It was in-depth, wasn't it? You know what? I wish we could clone about 5,000 people with that
We
type
had
of
5,000 Dylans. No one would ever leave the stadium ever. It is homecoming week this
Yes, it
week.
is.
Of course, all kinds of stuff going on, and you can see Dylan at the football game this
Very
Saturday.
festively, I'm sure.
Yes, Truman and the Griffins at 1:30. What do the Griffins need to do, Brett?
Well, we need to continue to get better. I think each week this team has gotten a little bit better, but I'd like to see us play 4 quarters. We were dominant for 3 quarters last week and then just never could get the knockout punch. Well, I tell you what, at home, I don't think that'll be an issue this week. Truman scares me a little bit. You know, teams always do when you know they can play teams close like Pitt State. They were close on the road last weekend against Missouri Southern, but I don't think so. I think we're getting better, and I think this should be a game we should handle.
Let's move to the pick'ems this week, and guess who gets it? You get it again.
Element of surprise.
Put it on.
Are you
no element of
surprised?
surprise.
How
There's
can you
no
be
surprise.
surprised?
Put
There's
that thing
no
on.
surprise. Let's
that
get it
looks
on. You know,
terrible with that
we need to
ugly
get-
brown tie and
we need
shirt.
to get one
It's the
tailored.
worst thing I've ever seen, Brett. You went.
Get a free bowl Super Bowl?
You did. You look like you deserve one. You went 7-0 last week. I went 5-2, so you get to wear the stupid
go
stuff
undefeated.
again. Yeah, I'm 36-12 overall. You're 41-7, so you're
5 clear.
pulling away. Yeah, it's okay. I'm terribly distraught about it too. Let's start with the MIAA. Washburn. Washburn at Northwest. That's a really good game this week.
Boy, tell you what, my gut wants to pick Washburn, and I think they're good enough to go up there and win that game. And those teams have played close, but I don't think so. I'm taking the Bearcats.
Take the Bearcats too. I just can't take you serious in that hat. Pitt State at Central.
Another great game this week on the road. I tell you what, Pitt State's running game is going to be the difference in Warrensburg. Give me the Gorillas. They stand defeated.
Give me Pitt State as well. Emporia at Lincoln.
Would you like me to sing Young Man wearing this?
Yes.
I'm not going to. Emporia at Lincoln. Is that going to be a Hayes game
What?
at Lincoln, or is Emporia just going to blow that out? I think it's the other way around. Emporia blows it out. They're good enough to go on a run.
Fort Hays at Central Oklahoma, non-MIAA game, which will be an MIAA game next year.
Give me Central Oklahoma. The home team gets it done in that game.
Give me Central Oklahoma as well. We're picking the same. I don't like it. Okay, in the Big 12, Mizzou hosts number 4 Oklahoma State. Ugh.
Tigers got healthy last weekend. They took out some frustration on Iowa State. This is an 11 a.m. game. Oklahoma State's very good. I'm taking the Tigers. Upset special. Give me the Tigers in
Okay,
Columbia.
good. We'll be
I'm
different.
doing it.
Oklahoma State by 30.
Why you'll lose next week.
KU hosts number 11 unbeaten K-State. No chance of beating Bill Snyder, is there? Who
I don't
can beat Bill Snyder?
tell you what. I don't think so. K-State will win.
Yep. Give me the Wildcats to go 7-0. In the NFL, the Chiefs at the Raiders.
Raiders. What do you think they're playing on that energy and the emotion of Al Davis? I don't know. 2-0 since Mr. Davis's death. Quarterback got hurt last week. I'm taking the Chiefs. They're going to even the record.
Oh, no way.
I'm doing it.
No way. Not in
Give me
Oakland.
the Chiefs.
No, give me the Raiders. Okay, we're different. And in the World Series, let's just pick it. Cardinals or Rangers, and how many?
Tony La Russa just gave me a text message. He said that he's not going to start any pitchers. He's just going to go with a bullpen the whole time. Tell you what, pretty good recipe for success. They're destined. Give me St. Louis.
I can't pick against the Cardinals. I'll take them in 6. And I left a message for Tony La Russa.
Yes, you did, by the way.
A couple weeks ago.
You did. He
I
must
don't
have
know
heard
how it worked. Yes, that's GSI for this week. Look forward to seeing you for all the homecoming festivities this week. You can see us anytime online, gogriffins.com. Thanks for joining us.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, go Griffs.
Go Griffs.